Today, we're going to talk about something really powerful, the idea that you can actually reprogram your own mind for success. We're going to break down how you can take direct control over your future, not by waiting for things around you to change, but by changing your own internal programming, starting right now.
I love this quote because it just cuts right to the chase. The core idea here is so simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Your thoughts create your actions build your habits, and guess what? Your habits create your future. It all starts right up here in your mind.
All right, so here's the game plan for how we're going to do this. First, we'll look at your mind's operating system. Then, we'll get into how to deconstruct those limiting beliefs, shift your focus over to opportunities, build some killer success habits, and finally, clean up your mental environment. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's talk about your mind's operating system. The best way to think about this is to imagine your mind is like a computer. It's running on all these internal programs that basically dictate how you behave and ultimately what you can achieve. And you know, the most empowering part of thinking this way is, if your mind is a computer, guess what? It can be reprogrammed. Those old beliefs you've been carrying around, they can be replaced. That negative thinking, it can be removed. Nothing about your current mindset has to be permanent. So, where do we even begin this reprogramming process? Well, the very first step is to deconstruct the beliefs that are holding you back. This is all about finding and deleting those old files that are running in the background and just slowing your whole system down. So what are we actually talking about here? What is a limiting belief? It's really just a thought you've played on repeat so many times that your brain has started to accept it as a fact. Think of it like a mental program, one that can absolutely be rewritten, not some unchangeable truth about who you are.
And I bet some of these sound familiar, right? I'm not smart enough. Or maybe the classic, I always fail. These things, they aren't objective reality. They're just stories we tell ourselves, often based on one single thing that happened in the past that our brain has decided is now a rule for everything. The reframe for I'm not smart enough is just, I haven't learned that yet. See the difference?
Okay, so theory is great, but how do you actually change them? It's a simple 4-step process. First, you have to become aware of them. Really listen to that inner voice. Second, question it. Ask yourself, is this really 100% true? Third, you have to consciously replace that old belief with a new, empowering one. And fourth, and this is crucial, you take small actions to start gathering proof for your new belief. All right, so once you start clearing out that old buggy software, the next big step is to train your focus. This is all about teaching your brain to hunt for opportunities and solutions, instead of just getting stuck on all the obstacles. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. An obstacle focus is always asking, why is this so hard? And it just drains your energy. But an opportunity focus asks, okay, how can I solve this? Which actually builds momentum and shows you what you can learn. Same situation, totally different outcome. So how do you actually make this shift? Here are 4 super practical ways to start. First, reframe every challenge as training. It's not a setback, it's a workout. Second, be a gatekeeper for your mind. Limit the negative input. Third, practice gratitude. Focus on what you have, not what you don't. And finally, visualize success. Get your brain used to the idea of winning. Okay, on to our next big idea. Reprogramming your mind. It's not a one-time thing, right? It's a daily practice. This is all about building those small, consistent habits that literally hardwire a success mindset into your brain. This question just cuts right to it. Your mind believes whatever you repeat. So take a look at your daily routines. What are they actually programming into you? Are they reinforcing focus and discipline, or are they reinforcing excuses and distraction? And one of the most powerful places to start is your morning. I mean, think about it. If you grab your phone the second you wake up, you're programming your mind for distraction right from the get-go. But if you start with intention, maybe you review your goals, read something positive, you set a completely different tone for the entire day. And here's another game-changing habit: daily learning. And listen, we're not talking about hours and hours, just committing to 20 minutes a day, reading, learning a new skill, listening to something educational. It builds incredible confidence and momentum over time. I absolutely love this next quote. It just nails the whole concept. It's not about having big goals or waiting for motivation to strike. It's all about your daily systems. Your success is going to be determined by the habits you show up and do day in and day out. And that brings us to our final and maybe one of the most overlooked lessons: cleaning up your mental environment.
It is so important to recognize that your mind is constantly being programmed by everything around you, the people you talk to, the stuff you watch, the conversations you're in.
Think about it. You just can't build a strong, positive mindset if you're swimming in a pool of negativity. Even if you're trying your best to think positively, being constantly exposed to complaining and doubt and cynicism, it will eventually wear you down.
So, what's the game plan? How do you protect your mind? Here's a quick checklist. Be really selective about who gets your time. Curate your social media feeds for growth, not for distraction. Reduce all that digital noise. And organize your physical space to actually support your goals. Every single one of these steps helps build an environment that reinforces success.
So, let's bring this all together. The big takeaway is this. Your mind is literally the control center for your entire future. If you program it for doubt, you're going to get hesitation. But if you deliberately, consciously program it for growth, for discipline, and for belief, you will rise. It's inevitable.
At the end of the day, you're not just a passenger in your own life. You are the programmer. The code is in your hands. So the only question left is, what will you write next?